Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 84 of the Chase Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on October 19th, 2021. How is everyone doing this fine day? Man, I have been out of pocket. Yeah, I have been pretty dark on comms, so I have no idea what is going on in the gun world right now. I saw some recalled shotgun. Made sense. Yeah. It was necessary due to some things I have going on. I have a lot of research, work and deadlines that are coming up, and some other business things. But I thought I would pop in the middle of this hectic time, in this hectic insanity, and give you a podcast. Yeah, I feel like I can do that this evening. So I'm going to give it the old college try, see what we can do here. It's probably going to be a short one, or at least shorter one than last time, but I didn't want to leave you hanging, so here we are. Yeah, so it is interesting that the weather is definitely changing down here in Texas, and it is so beautiful. Man, you folks gearing up for hunting season? Man, I am. Well, I should be, but yeah, I don't have as much time as I wish I did, but I am supposed to be gearing up for whitetail season, whitetail deer, and man, it's that sweet suppressed rifle deer murder, dude. Like it is one of the best things you can do. And where would you get such an implement, such a lovely tool for field use to make that happen? From Silencer Shop. You like that? The J Situation Podcast is proudly sponsored by Silencer Shop, the most efficient and intelligent way to purchase silencers. Yeah. It's not only my dealer of choice, but it's really the infrastructure I like to use if I have to. They know a lot of cool stuff, like create an easy system that minimizes the likelihood of errors in your paperwork. That's the main thing. It's the QR code, guys. And because that works with a kiosk and your fingerprints and your photos, that's basically why I like it. Their whole DocuSign system, just the whole way the whole thing works. The wait for a Form 4 is so long that the little things that can happen, I'm just willing to all just leave it in that system and let it ride. It's when you're busy, just not having to worry about it's cool. That's pretty much my endorsement. Yeah. So you can do all of your photos and fingerprints electronically, stuff like that. Cuts down on errors. Really, I mean, you're lowering your risk of your paperwork getting messed up by reducing the error rate. Like if you wanted to look at it mathematically, like you're just reducing the error rate. I mean, you're reducing the probability of an error. It simplifies the silencer purchasing process. And when you do it, you don't have to pay a transfer fee, and there's a money back guarantee on the silencer, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, it's just you and your silencer with no drama. It truly is silencer ownership simplified. It is. And most importantly, and the thing that I'm really trying to do here, this podcast is sponsored by PEW Science, pushing the silencer industry forward one test at a time. When you visit pewscience.com, you will be introduced to the suppression rating. It is the simplest and most accurate sound rating for your suppressed small arms. Folks talk about hearing safe this, hearing safe that. The fact of the matter is, hearing risk and hearing damage risk is dose dependent. And there are a lot of parameters that go into that metric. The suppression rating takes all of them, wraps it up into one metric for you. It's great. It's in Section 5 of the Silencer Sound Standard. It walks you through gunshot noise, sort of like Wikipedia, but for the cool kids that like guns. There's 7 parts. They're all on pewscience.com for you to read. You don't have to dig into everything, but if you would, you go to Section 5, check out the suppression rating. It's going to let you know how silencers stack up in comparison to one another. You know the story. It's tied to human perception. If it's higher, it sounds better. If it's lower, it sounds louder. And If you really, really want to know the nitty gritty, you can head to section 6, look at all the reviews. But if that's too much for you, once you're familiar with how it all works, you go to section 7, there's a table, you sort to your heart's content, and maybe you find something you like, you click back on the reviews there in the table, and you do a deep dive. It's all there for you. If you're a manufacturer and you would like to use PEW Science for testing or consulting services, there is a form on the website with which you can submit that inquiry. We do have a current testing backlog at this time. There are some manufacturers waiting on testing. The demand is just very high right now, and that's okay. It's just that we are transitioning to some other operations too in PEW Science, and thank you for your patience during that time. And it's really great. The folks reach out. We help them with R&D, and if you test with us, we hold your data in strict confidence. There's a lot of folks that'll take your silencers and test them. So it's like that's not what we're. This is a true engineering consultancy where you are our client, and we're here to help you with your product development or your product evaluation. Okay. And if at the end of that effort you would like to release that and show people what it's all about, we'd be happy to release a test report to the public to show everyone the performance of your product. And that way it's all in the pedigree, it's all trusted and all on the same page and consistently measured, consistently analyzed, and the results will be meaningful to both the consumer and you. It's great, I think. Working well so far. But yeah, you can support this podcast, other than this testing stuff, you can support this podcast. You can support PEW Science. You can support the testing we do independently from company R&D, but just the testing we do for the public. You can support all of that by joining with a membership at pewscience.com. You can even, if you can't do that, if you say, the membership's too much, that's fine. You can rate the podcast on iTunes there or the other podcast providers, give it a rating, share it, tell folks about it. Our goal, as always, is to make silencers normalized. The use of suppressed small arms to be normalized, a household name. Remember when everyone used to have a rifle hanging above the fireplace there, hanging above the mantle? Why don't they have a suppressed rifle up there? Why doesn't every family have a suppressed AR, like in a rack near their front door? I mean, when you really think about it. Oh, and then it's raining. Oh, let me get my rain gun. Oh, it's sunny outside. Where's my summer gun? My summer suppressed gun. Oh, it's chilly outside, little Johnny. Don't forget your winter silencer. You know what I mean? It sounds strange, but it shouldn't be. You go build a house, bring your tool belt, maybe you have your tape measure and hammer in it, I long for the day when everyone's Fanny Pack has a silencer, frankly. Okay, I'm clearly mentally deficient this week. I'm so tired. You don't even understand, and I can't even tell you all about it because it's just stuff that's not your business. But I'm just there's too much going on. Okay, I have 4 topics for you today. The first topic, and don't throw tomatoes at me. New sound signature review coming soon. I thought this week. I really did, but it might not happen this week. And it is coming, I promise, and you're going to like it, but it just might be delayed. But I did want to give you an update, okay? Topic 2, quick Fanny Pack update. That's right, it's great. Highly recommend the Fanny Pack, okay? Highly recommended. I don't know how else to say that. Topic 3, listener questions. Yes, we are going to dive back into the 3rd solicitation. We are. It's been a minute, but man, I almost forgot about it. I was like, oh my gosh, we have so many questions we got to get to, so that'll be fun. And actually, frankly, I kind of need that right now. It's cathartic for me. I like answering your questions, so I'm going to dig into that. And then finally, topic 4, just a cursory welcome, frankly. There's so many folks. Welcome to the new PEW Science members. you guys have chosen to support the effort. That means you believe in it, and I really am honored. It's grassroots, and it motivates me. It does. So I did want to thank you for that, and I always would want to thank you. Okay, I have a piece of paper here. I usually write little notes to myself. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go into topic 1 at a time of 10 minutes and 26 seconds. Okay, topic 1. Yeah, new sound signature review coming soon. Maybe not this week though. And gosh, there is no expectation, but I do feel I just want to tell you there is one coming. And I sort of alluded to it earlier. I'm in the midst of some significant research work and some other stuff, and it's one of those situations where even if I hired somebody, it wouldn't matter. Like, it just is so busy that like it doesn't. It's just one of those things where things ramped up and is what it is. So something has to give, and this week it's probably going to be the sound signature review. I have a lot of it completed, and I've had, gosh, I tested a while back. I've had the data for quite some time. I just haven't. There have been other priorities for publication, and this one kind of took a back seat. And it is what it is. There are reasons, and yeah, the demand. But frankly, the demand has been so high lately, in particular, that I was like, okay, well, fair enough. I'll curtail my current effort that I was going in, and I do think I'm gonna kind of circle back. Yeah, that's right. I use the term circle back. Literally, that's actually makes sense in this context. I'm gonna circle back to this previous test and give you a good description of the performance of the silencer and a good analysis. I think that's important. I think you guys need it, and I think the industry does. And so yeah, and frankly, you waited this long. What's a little longer? No, I'm just kidding. I promise. No, I'm to be serious. I didn't have the time this week to do it justice. So rather than rush it, I'm gonna delay it so I can do it right. That's all. Okay, there's no mystery here. It's just, frankly, it's time. And so yeah, but if it does come this week, you'll know. If you aren't signed up for the newsletter, I will say that, like, when you go to pewscience.com on the homepage there, it says stay informed. You can click that, sign up for the newsletter, or I believe there's a blank to sign up for the newsletter at the bottom of the sound signature review main page, and there might even be a pop-up on there that I programmed. I can't remember this time, but yeah. So there's all kinds of ways to sign up. It doesn't spam you. It's literally like that. Like, if you want to know the technical way that works, like when you click that form and you put your email address in there, it goes into my database, and then I put my database into my newsletter database, and then when I send a newsletter, the newsletter thing pulls from the database. Like, that's literally what it does. Like, there's no magic, there's no anything, there's no third party, there's just me sending you stuff through a system. Like, there's no other human. So don't be paranoid. And if you say, you know what, I don't trust you, Jay, and I'm like, well, okay. I hope to someday earn your trust. Okay, so that's good, right? Okay, just a quick update for you. Okay, we're gonna move into topic 2 at a time of 14 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay. It's like, you're like, this guy's losing his mind. Yeah, I am. Yeah, topic 2, a very quick, extremely quick Fanny Pack update for you. It's great. And I don't care which Fanny Pack you buy. Like, I don't sell Fanny Packs. I mean, not yet, at least. No, but seriously, I don't care. But I'm saying, like, hear me out. If you're skeptical about the Fanny Pack, just hear me out. I have been all over the place doing stuff since the last episode that I guess since the last time I spoke with you. And actually, yeah, I've been doing a lot of driving and outdoor stuff and walking, office work, basically a lot of varied situations, up and down, sitting down, walking, not jogging in a way for some things. And I had my fanny pack on the whole time through all these different days and activities, right? And so let me tell you something. How convenient is a fanny pack, dude? Like, all your stuff in a fanny pack, it's fantastic. And always strapped, like always strapped. You're always armed when you have, like, it's so, dude, think about it. Car keys and a gun. Think about the concept, right? What is not to love about strapping something to you, all of a sudden you got your wallet, keys, and gun? I don't know why more people don't use these things. It's brilliant for a busy person. Like, you can't tell me that, like, okay, let's take a detour. I didn't plan on asking you this, but frankly, what are you guys doing? You all just are always having a holster on, like, all day? And, like, when you walk out, you're like, oh, let me get my holster, and you put your holster on? And, like, really? Do you actually do that? Do you find yourself sometimes not carrying your weapon because it's inconvenient, or you're like, oh, I don't feel like grabbing my holster, or I'm not wearing the right thing, or oh, I don't have the right belt loops for my belt to carry it, and da-da-da, or there's got to be, like, I've carried a gun for a long time, dude. Like I'm not a police officer or anything, like, not professionally, but just for personal protection. For many years, many decades, I've carried a firearm. And I have never thought that it's convenient at all times. Like, there's been certainly times where I don't carry my gun because I'm like, you know what? I'm not carrying my gun today. I'm not wearing the right thing. I don't have time to go change or blah, blah, blah. I got to go right now. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, my gun's upstairs. Like, if you don't have that situation and I'm alone in that, fine, like, cool. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that, you know, I've not always been strapped when I should be strapped. Like, I'm a human. You know, I have proclivities and convenience factors that I use, and so this fanny pack thing, like, moving back to that, it's, for me personally, my lifestyle personally, it's a game changer for me. Okay, now I will say one thing that does suck. There is something I have noticed. So mine has, and not all fanny packs have this, but mine has this pocket that touches your body in the back that has a zipper on top, and I have a card wallet that's very thin, and I put that in that pocket because it's thin and it doesn't what do you say? It doesn't form a bump that, like, bothers me because it's touching me. It's very smooth. It's unobtrusive. That's the word I'm looking for. It's unobtrusive. So when I go to pull that wallet out, if, like, I can't use the Samsung Pay on my phone to pay at the card reader in the store, and I have to, like, go and I have to pull my card out to, like, tap the card on the thing or insert the chip or whatever. When I go to reach for the little card wallet, I find myself having to take my offhand and pull the fanny pack away from my body a little bit so I can manipulate it. Whereas, like, for example, if I want to get something out of the little front pocket that hangs off in front of the main pocket where my gun is, like the little front pocket that's in front, like my little silencer or my keys or whatever that's in that little pocket, it's like it's a one-handed easy peasy lemon squeezy unzip boop bop 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 bop. But the back one is like a little harder with a little wallet, and that might just be, I was thinking, it already has a zipper lead. I was like, oh well, what if it's the zip? What if that's what? Oh, excuse me. What if that's what it is? What if it's that that I'm having to reach for the zipper pull. What if I just made the zipper pull like so it had a Velcro tab, so it Velcroed it vertical, so it was easier to get to between my body and the fanny pack. I'm just thinking out loud right now of what I mean. It's not a huge deal, and it's honestly, I almost never pull out the wallet because I use Samsung Pay, because Samsung Pay can, it can. Little known fact, just I know this isn't a silencer, but relax. little known fact, you know how like Apple Pay, and I don't use iPhones frankly, but you know how Apple Pay just, it's like an NFC function, a near field contact algorithm, or near field communication. Near field communication? It's probably an inductive radio frequency near field communication. I think it's not inductive. That's inductive charging. That's different, but it works on the same. It's not even the same principle. Okay, I'm sorry. my ADD is preventing me from explaining this correctly. Let me back up. Apple Pay works with a near field communication, like electromagnetism. Okay, when you put it to the reader, and there's a token exchange in which the payment is securely made. Okay? That's how Apple Pay works. That's how Google Pay works too, like on the card readers with your phone. Okay? Now let me tell you something. Samsung Pay is different. It can do that like the Apple Pay and the Google Pay. It can do that too. But another thing that Samsung Pay can do that the other ones can't do is it can broadcast an NFC signal to the magnetic reader. You feel me? So, if you had a card reader that was antiquated and it only had a swipe thingy, this used to be a bigger deal, but now they're more updated. Everyone has a different thing. But for years, there were some readers that only had the swipe thingy. Well, Samsung Pay works with that, dude. And I know some people don't know that, but it does. You can put all your cards in your digital wallet on Samsung on your phone. You swipe up, you select the cards you want to use, you hit the button thing, it starts vibrating, you stick it next to the freaking swipe thing on the terminal, and it works. I'll do that at a store, and the clerk is like, "How did you just pay with your phone?" And I was like, "Samsung Pay." And they're like, "We don't have Apple Pay here." I'm like, "I didn't say Apple Pay." And they're like, "Yeah, but we don't have Apple Pay." I'm like, "Okay, can I please have my Twinkies now?" No, just kidding. Sometimes I like Twinkies. I don't know. Sometimes you're at a store, you hungry. What I'm saying is it's cool. So I don't always use that thing in the fanny pack. But sometimes you get, especially nowadays, sometimes they want to see your ID for stuff. It's like, oh my God, I'm flattered. But anyway, you know what I mean? So that's the one thing I don't like is the zipper on the back. I love it. I just wish I could get to it faster and pull my little card wallet out faster. So maybe what I'm saying is I need a little extra pocket. I don't know. All in all, it's a great fanny pack. Very durable, very comfortable. Now, overall, I will say that being able to combine simple organization with carrying a weapon is cool to me. All right? I actually, there was tons of discussion on, I posted this on Reddit, the last episode. I posted that picture on Reddit of the carry gun that I have, my FN, and this fanny pack. I posted it there, and I couldn't believe the amount of discussion about fanny packs and people that love them. Some people made fun of me, but that's okay. But yeah, people love these things. And you know what? I do too. And I just think, you don't see many people talking about them. And I'm like, man, everyone talks about all these, like, oh, I have a plate carrier and I have all this stuff. I'm like, really? Like, how often are you wearing your plate carrier, dude? Like, I mean, that's cool. But like, you're like, plate carrier? Where are you going? Like, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you obviously need a plate carrier. Like if you're in a place where you need a plate carrier. But the amount, I don't know if this is just me, but the amount of people that I see discussing things like that versus the amount of people who are discussing reasonable, convenient things for carrying weapons is different. I'm like, why is there so much hubbub? Oh, that armor is the wrong type of armor. That's going to spall. I'm like, yeah, it is. But at the same time, it's what are you, your plate carriers? And then these other things that people really get, there's another thing that people have gotten really, really upset about on the internet. The things in which you carry magazines on your chest, for your ARs. I guess you would call it a chest rig. I guess you can put plates in a plate carrier, and your carrier might have pockets on it in which to put magazines. And then maybe you don't have a plate carrier and you just put something over your chest and you put magazines in it. I have a chest thingy for my binoculars. It's a binocular harness. That's kind of cool. And there's a loop on it. I guess I could put other stuff on there if I wanted. So yeah, the other day I was on social media, last week before, people talking about chest rigs and micro chest rigs and everything. And there's a huge debate about it all. And I was thinking to myself, how many times per day, you people on Instagram, how many times per day are you wearing a rig on your chest to carry 30-round AR magazines? Where you guys live in Mogadishu? Where? I understand, they're cool for training and doing stuff, but you every day, or are you carrying a pistol every day? Or maybe you carry a machine gun every day? Mad props, bro. I wish I could. I don't have room a lot of times, but I had to bring my Mac. Clack clack. But yeah, I found that interesting. I find that really interesting that there are significant discussions about gear that's used in situations that you never want to be in, but you prepare for. Because being prepared is great and being trained is great. There's all kinds of discussions about that. But what about, and maybe there's holster debates. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe people are just debating the types of holsters to carry. But are they debating it? Whenever I see holster debates online, it's all, that's not good for operating. I'm operating? Dude, you go to the grocery store, you go to work, what are you doing? I get it. I understand debating the merits and the drawbacks of equipment for tactical use. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I think it's smart to understand the limitations of equipment, particularly if you're using it in a combat zone, or, for example, if you're law enforcement, or maybe if you're just a civilian and you need to rock and roll, or you need to protect your family, and so a lot of things are going wrong. You need equipment. 100%. I think everyone should own machine guns. I think everyone should have body armor. Everyone should have night vision. And frankly, I think we need rocket launchers. Don't stop there. I think we need everything. Short of nuclear weapons, because it's a weapon of mass destruction, and I don't really believe in chemical weapons or nuclear weapons for the general populace. I think that's where we do need to draw the line. Short of that, when it comes to conventional munitions, I guess there might be a payload limit. I'm not talking about legal limit. I'm talking about philosophically. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I believe in arming everyone, but I just think the practicality is being lost. And it could, it could be just kids. It could be dumb kids, and that's fine. Everyone's dumb when they're a kid. I was dumb, but you get smarter when you get older, hopefully. So anyway, it is something I noticed. I think fanny packs are cool. If you don't think they're cool, that's cool. You don't have to use them, and I don't care. I just wanted to let you know, I feel like there's a big audience listening to this, and I feel like if I found convenience from this, and I've been carrying a gun for almost 2 decades, there's got to be at least one of you who's been thinking to themselves, man, fanny packs are great. I wonder if anyone carries a gun in them. Maybe I should. I don't know. And I feel like if I help one person carry a gun more often, and that ends up saving their life, then that's do a good turn daily. That's a Boy Scout slogan for you there, if you're into that. Okay, yeah. Anyway, Anyway, the Fanny Pack has resulted in me carrying my gun in more places, so it's helped me. Okay, it's always good. Always be strapped. Okay, it's always good. All right. We'll move in. Did I just talk about Fanny Pack for 15 minutes? All right, topic 3 at a time of 30 minutes and 14 seconds. Okay, this is perfect. We're making great time. This is exactly how I wanted to run this today. This is actually very efficient, and frankly, I'm not mad about it. Close that. I'm going to pull up our thing here. Hold on. Oh, don't save that. Wrong thing. Yeah, okay, so topic 3. Listener questions. We're going to go dive into this third solicitation. It's going to be great, and they're always so good. Your questions are always so good, and I think that they actually get better every time I solicit questions from you folks. I think they get better, and a rising tide definitely raises all ships in all aspects of this effort. I think so. I think that the manufacturers, the dealers, the consumers, they're all getting scary smart, and it's actually chilling how cool it is. It's awesome. It makes me happy. So let's dive into your questions. Microsoft Excel here. All right. Last time, let's see. Spreadsheet here. Oh, colors. Okay, so last time we left off. The last question we answered on this. There was a question from someone asking, now that we're finally getting 5.56 data, when can we expect 8.6 data? And I went on to answer this later, gentlemen, by letting them know that frankly you don't even need 8.6 data, and it's not even released really. And if you really want to know about 8.6, you just talk to Adam, the CEO of Q, and ask him if he'll send some stuff to PEW Science to test, and if they need that. I mean, I talked to Adam a while back about that, and he said that he wanted me to test some of their stuff, but I don't know where they are with the 8.6 project. I know load development is happening with discrete ballistics. Shout out Powerful David at Discrete Ballistics. So PEW Science member. So yeah, that's where we left off on that. Okay, so we're going to head into question number 136, sub-question 8 of the third solicitation. Hey, Jay. Hi, listener. Do you have any bucket list hunts, or are you content with whitetail and hogs? That's an awesome question, sir, man. Yeah, am I content with whitetail? That's an interesting way to phrase that, but I respect it. It's a good question. I do have some bucket list hunts, my friend. I do. I think I've talked about this in the past. I want to do Dall sheep in Alaska for sure. That is one of my desires before I die. I would like to do that. And that would be with rifle. I think that's obvious, but some folks might not know about Dall sheep, and you're not doing that with a bow. I promise you. Now, I also want to do elk. Now, okay, I say you're not doing it with a bow. Now someone's going to message me, my uncle took a Dall sheep with a bow at 20 yards because he's a ninja. I'm like, okay, ninja man. I'm going to shoot him with a rifle. And then I also want to do elk. Because although I have, and I've eaten. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I have eaten Dall sheep because one of my old hunting buddies did this. He went on a seaplane to the side of hiked up the side of a mountain, slept on the mountain for days, and shot a Dall sheep at like 400 yards with a 300 Win Mag. That's the same guy who I was hunting with once, and we had bad comms, and he wasn't using a silencer, and he shot his 243 Winchester right by my ear, and I didn't have ears on, unsuppressed. It blew out my eardrum. So that was fun too. But anyway, I digress. No, I didn't. Just kidding. He didn't blow out my eardrum, but he did damage my left ear. Yeah. So it's fine. So I ate Dall sheep. It was great. I want to do that like he did. That's cool. Also, I want to do elk because I have also eaten elk and I love the taste of it. I love everything about it. I love the way they look. I love their lifestyle. I love just the way elk live life, dude. I think it's awesome. And I have a healthy respect for that animal. I would like to hunt it and kill it, take its meat, eat it, and take its head as a trophy to signify the event. I mean, that's what I do. And yeah, I suppose a rifle would be great for elk, but we were talking bucket list. You did ask bucket list, didn't you? If we're talking bucket list, I would do an elk bow hunt. I'm not going to do that first, but I will do it eventually. I think, if we're talking bucket list, I think archery, because it's so up close and personal with an elk, and it can be done. I've seen it done a lot. I have a bow. I know how to shoot a bow, but I'm so rusty and out of practice. And I would need complete revamp, training, and workout to even be close to competent to try shooting an animal with a bow, like humanely. I would not even try right now. My chops are not there. So that's not in the cards in the immediate time frame, but it'll happen. And you asked, let me get some water. Hold on. You ever had like chapped lips from extreme wind and like temperature change in dry climate and then dehydration, and like no matter what, you can't get your lips not chapped? It happened to me, and keep licking my lips. It's like, I hate that. It's the worst. Sorry. Regarding hogs, you're like, this guy oversharing. Yeah, I'm tired. Regarding hogs, I really don't. I actually, I'm going to say this because you said, am I content with whitetail and hogs? This must be someone. I wonder if you're from Texas. I don't know where you're from. I don't know. I can't remember who asked this. But I do want to say I don't think a lot of people understand, and this guy might, but I'm not talking to you, sir, ma'am, directly. I'm just saying this for the benefit of the audience. A lot of people I don't think understand hogs and why they're hunted, or shot, or killed. I really don't like hunting hogs that much. It's just that we have to for pest control. Okay, and I don't know if what I'm about to say is controversial or not, but hog hunting really isn't hunting as much as it is eradication. Okay, and like I suppose, like in the strict sense of the word, you're hunting an animal to kill it. For sure, dude. Like in that sense of the word, it is hunting. But when I think of hunting, and this can vary for different people, it's all about like what hunting means to you. I think for me, I think of killing an animal to use it, and I take a trophy to signify the event. You've seen the movie Predator, and the dude takes the human skulls. He's making a belt. He's also, that's a little bit of a misnomer, that movie, because real predators usually eat what they kill. Usually. That's why they're killing it. They're designed. So that alien, he actually came from another world where they hunted humans for sport. It was purely sport predation. And it's interesting that people use that synonymously with true predation. In the true sense, a predator kills prey to eat and use it. Okay? I just want to, and we're going to keep going on this, but I'm trying to define some terms for people so they really understand what they're saying when they say it. So, I hunt animals for purpose, and not always the same purpose, but one purpose I do. If I hunt them to kill them and eat them, I'll take a trophy to signify it because it means a lot to me, the experience. And so I want to keep a memento. So I take a trophy. Could be its head, its antlers, lucky rabbit's foot. I don't know. I'm just saying. And that's what I do. Now with hogs, they're non-native species to where I live. Okay, and they're destructive pests. So it's pest control. Okay, is it somewhat thrilling to eradicate them? Yes. Okay, I'd be lying if I didn't say it was fun to like plink hogs out of a field with like whatever weapon you want within reason. I mean, but at some point it's kind of played out. And I mean, how many times can you kill the mice with the traps before you get sick of seeing dead mice, dude? Okay, like a lot of you who've never been hog hunting, like you're not understanding like the true nature of it. And if you want to kill just to kill something, well, you might have a problem. There's that, like, psychologically, but also because it is not normal just to like kill for the sake of killing. Like that's not, like you might think it's okay, but it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay just to take life for no reason. Like it doesn't make sense. So I mean, if there's no reason to kill something, like you killing it there's like a psychological issue with you, right? So the reason we kill hogs is because we don't want them on the land because they're destroying everything, or we kill them to eat them, and you can eat wild hog, and it's great, and it depends on the hog, but many times you cut up the back strap, and you know what I'll do? I'll cut out the back strap, eat that, then I'll leave the dead hog there, come back later, use it as bait for the coyotes, kill them because the coyotes kill the deer. So that's predator hunting. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so yeah, I want to talk about hogs in that way so you understand it. And let me talk about predator hunting and real predation. Because you said your question, sir, ma'am, was, do you have any bucket list hunts, or are you content with whitetail and hogs? Well, my hunting that I do is a lot more complex than just that. Okay, and one of the reasons I hunt whitetail deer is for wildlife management on property, and trophy hunting and food. They're all combined. It's all intertwined. Hunting the hogs is part of the wildlife management program, because how am I going to have my deer feed, when the hogs are like, now the deer is going to eat a lot of protein feed. Okay. And the hogs can't get up to the spout a lot. So that's good. But what they can do is when the other animals get there and the feed starts to come out, they can bother them, and they take it over, and they create mud pits. And then when you put corn feed out, and the corn's not really good for a deer. It's not going to feed the deer. Corn is candy. You give corn to a deer to attract them. You're not giving them nutrition. Corn is like, it's a Pop-Tart. You're giving them candy, and then they're sweet and they like it. But that's not going to. I mean, the deer get most of their nutrients from plants. There's a lot of crude proteins in that and everything, and different minerals and stuff too. But you give them supplementary feed with minerals and protein to make them healthy and grow big and strong, so you can eat them and they look cool, and you get their cool trophy when you kill them. Right? That's how you get good whitetail deer. So the hogs can do bad things with that. They also, when you have other livestock on your ranch, the hogs a lot of times will get into the cattle feed. They will dig holes in the fields to uproot a lot of the root systems and things too. And you can get, cattle can break its leg or something. You can get problems. I've seen hogs attack cattle. I know that's weird. I've seen it happen. I've seen a calf get bowled over by a big old boar hog before. So that's crazy. So there's a lot of reasons we kill hogs. And hogs are filthy, frankly. Like, they're filthy animals. Like they breed like they're just horrible. And we just don't. But they can taste good, but there's too many of them. We can't kill them fast enough. Okay, so with regard to predator hunting, that's another thing. You asked me whitetail and hogs. Well, part of wildlife management in a natural system, their ecosystem, is the managing the predators, depending on the type of land and depending on the type of livestock you have. Okay, and so Predator hunting is awesome. So you talk about bucket list. Well, we could start to talk about predator hunting, and I'll tell you what, predator hunting is not pest control necessarily. It is predator control because they are native animals, but they might be impacting your livestock, okay? That they can kill your cattle, they can kill your deer, they can kill other stuff, your chickens. Predators, they can kill you, depending on the predator. It's not likely, but they can. It's extremely unlikely unless you're talking about something crazy up north or something, or maybe a mountain lion. But it's rare. It's super rare. Now, predators are going to take some livestock. It's going to happen, and you can try not to let that happen as part of like a wildlife management program on your land. So it doesn't have to be. You don't have to manage predators, but you can. And for me, it's something I like to do. With regard to bucket list for predators, I think maybe a mountain lion. Probably, I don't know. I always go back to the purpose part. I would eat it. Like if I killed a mountain lion, I'm eating it. I'm eating every part of that thing. For the most part. But it would also definitely be a trophy, like to signify that, dude. If I took a mountain lion, you're gonna see a mountain lion head on my wall, like screaming, or you're gonna see an awesome rug, or both. Like I'm doing that. Predator control. That's not really a mountain lion. I mean, you're not. That's what I'm saying. If I went mountain lion hunting, it'd be more of a let's eat it trophy. That'd be like more of a let's go kill a mountain lion. Let's eat this mountain lion, see how it tastes. Let's look at its cool claws. I mean, I've held a dead mountain lion's paws in my hand. And you know how when you play with a cat's paws and you can make the claws come out of the sheath by pushing on its toes? You know what I mean? You can do that with a mountain lion too. And it is a big claw, dude. And it is crazy. Like you're like, whoa, this is scary. Because it is. It's a full size, a full size mountain lion. Let me give you an idea. Because I've held them in my hand, like their paws. A full size mountain lion it looks like a female lion, dude. Is it quite as big? It can get there. I've seen it freshly killed, dude. Freshly killed by a ranch that neighbors where I've hunted. So, bro, if you kill one of those, it's either because he was about to kill you or you went seeking him. I mean, that you're not gonna. They're so rare to like be near you. Unless they're super hungry or like it just dumb chance, but like that, they're gonna know you're coming. So anyway, so there's that. That could be a bucket list. I've always thought it would be cool to kill a mountain lion, just because I want to eat it, see what they taste like. Plus, like, what a cool animal to have, like, have a trophy of, right? So there's that, and then one thing that I have predator hunted. I have hunted a lot of is coyote and bobcat. A bobcat is like a mountain lion, but tiny. All cats are the same. They're all death machines. They all want to kill you. All cats will kill you. You understand? Like you're talking about, like, a lot of people are like, I like cats better than dogs. It's like, well, that's because you don't understand that those are the same type of people that probably kill for fun. People who like cats. No, man. Dogs are pack animals. Cats kill you. Like if your house cat was big enough, it would eat you, dude. Like that is like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Cats, the only reason a cat would like you is if you feed it. You stop feeding it, it's going to eat you. If for some reason, like, you stop feeding your cat, like if you're one of those people who has a cat or something, which there's nothing wrong with you, but I'm not really a cat person. If you're one of those people who has a cat and you like stop feeding it, and then I don't know, you pass out or something, like you drunk, you pass out, or maybe you whatever, like that cat might eat your feet. That cat might eat your feet, dude. Like, and you'll wake up screaming, like, and you look at it, the cat's like, meow. You're like, you're eating my feet. And it's like, yeah, I'm a cat. Well, that's why I have these sharp teeth to rip flesh off of bone. You know what I mean? Like, that's what cats do, man. Their tongues, a cat's tongue's all barbed. It's all sharp to lick meat off of bones, dude. Like, you put a cat outside to take care of your rodents and stuff. What does it do? It brings you offerings of death. It brings you offerings to your porch. It says, here, I have prepared this dead animal for you to show you I'm good at eliminating things because I'm a predator. And that is a cat, dude. And so the predators that we control at ranches, typically in wildlife management programs, are bobcats, coyotes. I have watched in my thermal scope a coyote chase a doe. I'm sorry, a doe fawn. I have watched a coyote chase a fawn around a feeder at night, dude. There was some leftover feed. This young deer was eating. Coyote comes out chasing him in circles. I shot that coyote with a .308 at like 50 yards. I blew that coyote. I blew a hole in that coyote. So, but dude, his intestines were just like cut out. Yeah, AR-10 thermal, boom, 16-inch .308. I think I had like a rugged razor on or something was loud, but he died. So yeah. I like predator hunting too. Dream hunt. Kill a mountain lion in the mountains. Put it on my back, hike it out, eat it. Maybe if it's cold, I wear its skin. I don't know. Predator stuff. Real predator stuff. Predators that eat. You are. If you're listening to this and you're a human being, you too are a predator. You just have someone else kill your animals for you and you go buy it at the store. All right? You're all predators. Most of you are just lazy. So, most of you are just lazy predators. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but frankly. Okay. Hope that answered your question. Okay. We're all a little bit lazy. Let's be honest. We get soft in civilization. Question 137, sub-question 9 of the third solicitation. We're already an hour in. I'm spending way more time on this than I thought I would. Maybe you're getting a long podcast after all. Okay. Sub-question 9. Will you be expanding the muzzle device testing to the closed tine or 4-prong muzzle device? Yeah, so that's okay. First of all, that's an excellent question. That is in reference to Surefire. Okay, first of all, this later gentleman is asking. So we just tested we just published the Surefire SOCOM 556 RC2 on the War Comp and the 3-prong. So we did that. You saw the differences. We don't need to belabor that point. This gentleman is asking, closed tine or 4-prong, you doing that too? Okay, so that's the question. I think it's a good question. I think the answer is yes, but I'm going to qualify this. Now, I will not be testing the RC2 with a 4-prong probably because that's not good. I think that's going to be very similar to the 3-prong. That's not something you need to worry about. Now, that closed tine flash hire, though, it doesn't have those ports, but it also doesn't have the labyrinth seals. So it's going to be interesting. I've heard some people talking. They're not only postulating it's going to fall somewhere between the War Comp and 3-prong, but some people are saying it does, and they know it does because they have them all. I said, that's awesome data. Let's confirm, dude. Cool. Also, there's one thing you didn't mention, sir or ma'am. You did not mention the muzzle brake for the Surefire. So we need to look at that because we need to verify the higher back pressure postulations by some users, and we need to understand the suppression differences of the muzzle, which users also postulate to be greater. And Surefire has been and someone has been telling me Surefire is telling people, like Surefire themselves is telling people that the muzzle brake makes the Surefire RC2 series quieter and it protects the blast baffle. That's foreshadowing for the next question. Funny enough, I didn't plan that, but the Surefire is saying that. People have said the brake makes it quieter, but what does it do? What does it do? If you're making something quieter with a brake, why? With the way the Surefire works? How do we know the Surefire works? Vents gas early. Yeah? What's that brake going to do? Is it going to obscure those ports? Maybe. Are we hearing back pressure increase reports from users using the brake? Yes, we are. Is that why it's making it quieter? Possibly. It's reducing mass flow rate. Does that always work? Sometimes. Not all the time. 60% of the time? Every time. No, it doesn't work all the time. But with Surefire, it might. So that's a great question. So to repeat, you asked, closed tongue or 4-prong? I say, no, closed tongue and brake. That's what I say. All right, that's a great question. Let's move on. Question 138, sub-question 10. Is a flash hider better, or is a muzzle brake better? Okay, I'm reading that question weird, and it's written weird. Let me read this question again. Okay. It might have been a word limit, and so they had to like massage the sentence. Let me read this question in a way that will help both me and you, the listener, understand. Is a flash hider or muzzle brake better for protecting the blast baffle in a silencer? Because, see, the original question was, is flash hider better or muzzle brake for sacrificial baffle in suppressor efficiency? YHM Kurtz. It's like, cool question. I think I understand your point, sir, ma'am. But I think what you're asking is, one, does a muzzle brake protect the blast baffle better than a flash hider? What's efficient? And what do you think about the YHM Kurtz? Or maybe, and specifically concerning the YHM Kurtz mount system. Okay, I think I captured the intent of the question. Now, first of all, great question. And it's a very common question, a very common series of questions. Now, sacrificial baffle-wise, first of all, a flash hider is not going to protect anything. It's going to hide flash when the silencer's not on it. Open-tined flash hiders can, when a silencer's on them, it's going to direct or focus muzzle blast, dude. It's going to focus it. Just going to. But it depends on the geometry. And as a result, you might start to jet cut into the blast baffle. Now, the degree to which that cutting can damage the baffle is going to depend on a lot of factors. Okay, the factors are like barrel length, probably the cartridge, the firing schedule, the silencer, the blast baffle geometry. So there's not really a universal answer, but the 5.56 RC2 from Surefire, for example, since we were just talking about that on the previous question, that's going to show a tri-star pattern. Okay, that's going to be a 3-line radial cut pattern from the 3-prong. That's going to happen. And that blast baffle's in canal. Guys, that's happening. I mean, I have one. I own one. I've done it. It's not going to hurt the silencer that much. It's fine. It is happening though now. And because here's the question. How many rounds does it take on what barrel length to damage that blast baffle enough to make a perceptible difference in performance? You feel me? That's the question. I mean, how perceptible is the performance difference going to be after wearing that down? I don't think anyone knows the answer. So we would have to test it. That's one. But another thing you got to think about, even given the damage, you got to ask yourself, what other factors occurred during that firing schedule other than the blast baffle erosion? Did you fill up the silencer with debris too? And depending on the silencer, did that extra debris matter? Did that affect gas flow path? Okay, I don't know. Okay, so you go back to the question, your question here, sir, man. Would a brake be better than a flash hider? Well, it could be. In some silencers, like I spoke about with the Surefire, brake can increase back pressure. It can increase flow. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. It can increase back pressure. It can increase flow restriction. Increase your omega metric. PEW Science omega metric. It does. I love that I can say omega metric and you know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, math, dude. Not math, it's more physics. Gas flow. your omega metric might go up with some breaks. Now, in some silencers, it doesn't, though. And, we don't have an awesome handle on that yet with the breaks, but we're zoning in on a few that definitely do. And so it's going to depend on the silencer. It used to be that you could easily figure this out, but you guys are putting all kinds of different mounts in all kinds of different silencers. And you're doing that now because of those dang universal mounting threads. It drives me crazy. So that's creating a situation in which folks are getting some fairly interesting results, in some cases, and some folks may not be ready for some things that are happening. And so, sir or ma'am, you asked about the YHM Kurtz mount. It's funny, they use Kurtz. They Kurtz kit or something. The way they spelled it, the word Kurtz is German, and it means short. Okay? They spelled it wrong in the YHM thing on purpose. It's like a thing, but that's what it means. It's short. It just means their mount's shorter. And anyway, the YHM one, that Kurtz mount, Kurtz kit, it could increase back pressure, maybe. I'm not 100% on that. Can't remember. The flash hider might flow more, brake might protect more. I don't know. You got to ask yourself, do you even need the brake, though? You got to ask yourself, do you need a brake? I don't know. What silencer are you using, sir, ma'am? That might be a good question for you. You might not even need a brake for your final scheduled barrel length cartridge and silencer. It just depends. Frankly, it's going to depend. So let me know. All right? Hope that's some food for thought for you. Okay, next question. Question 139. Sub-question 11 of the third solicitation. 11.5-inch suppressor optimized build. Use bleed off or restrictive mode? I forgot. That's okay, man. I understand. I talk a lot. It's no way you can remember everything I say. It's a good question. And this gentleman or lady is asking on their 11.5-inch suppressor rifle. Apparently, they have a superlative arms gas block with both a restrictive mode and a bleed off mode. They're asking, what should they use? The restrictive mode or the bleed off mode? And they're probably asking me, what do I use? I would assume, and why? It's a good question. And we have spoken about this on the podcast. It's buried somewhere in the episodes, but I use restricted mode. It does depend on the silencer because it depends on flow rate. It depends on omega metric. It depends on the weapon and the dwell time. But with your 11.5-inch suppressor optimized build, I know exactly what kind of rifle you're using because it's a mid-length gas, probably, unless it's a carbine length gas, probably mid-length, doesn't matter. A lot of times with the bleed off mode that dumps gas at the key, not at the key. It's not called that. At the screw, the adjustment screw on the gas block, it dumps gas at that location and lets it flow rearward or aft as well. A lot of times with that bleed off function out of that superlative arms block, you can not bleed off enough to lower that bolt velocity enough like you can with the restricted mode, dude. It's different. And I think I've explained this in pretty excruciating detail, actually, technical detail in the past. But in short, the difference between restrictive and bleed off is the shape of the pressure curve of the carrier key to unlock the bolt. Okay, and this is going to be the same, and because superlative arms makes a piston kit and a direct impingement block, and it goes for both. It doesn't matter. Okay, all direct impingement guns and piston guns are exactly the same in operation. The only thing different with the piston is that the piston is solid and the geometry is different, but they both use gas impulse. The impulse in a piston is just transferred through the solid piston. Just don't get hung up on that. Okay, so the impulse is what matters. So if you had a piston, it would be the impulse pulse timing controlling. If you have direct impingement, the shape of the pressure curve will dictate the effective impulse to unlock. And that pressure curve is going to be more front-loaded with the bleed off to get enough velocity. So you're going to get a higher bolt velocity with the bleed off mode. You're going to get a higher bolt velocity because your orifice size is big, and you're going to get a high flow rate. You're going to get more pressure in there, and it's going to be a different shape to the pressure curve at the carrier key. You're going to get a higher bolt velocity. Okay? So use restrictive mode, I think. Guys, you can try both with your gun and silencer, but if you can't bleed off enough to when you're adjusting it and dialing it in to get the bolt not to lock back with it all the way bled with your silencer, well, then how much more could you have gone? Then you got to ask yourself, what am I even doing at this point? If it works, it works, but try it. All depends what your goals are, I think. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, we'll do how are we doing on time? We're about an hour in, hour and 5 minutes. Yeah, this is fine. We'll do a couple more. Question 100. Thank you for that question, by the way. Okay. Question 140, sub-question 12 of the third solicitation. Flash suppressor testing. I think you mean flash signature of silencers, or you mean flash hider. Either way, you're interested in characterizing flash or asking me if I will for you. I think that's your question, sir, man. You talking about multispectral? You just talking about visible light? What are you talking about? I mean, I can, but not right now. With the current backlog, not right now. It's not going to happen right now. I'm not going to promise you that. The equipment required to do this justice is relatively expensive. And, there are, what I a little birdie I talked to tells me about things that he has and some other people have. And, some of these silencer manufacturers have this equipment. They have really expensive equipment that measure light in certain ways, measure energy in certain ways. They're probably not going to share that data with you. I wouldn't if I were them anyway. If I was a private company doing my own testing, I'm not going to share data with you. I mean, that gives away a competitive advantage, probably, for that type of thing, I think, because someone's just going to copy them. I think if I can get some people to share some stuff with you guys, I will, just because I love to see that data available. Because anything I'm not doing that I think needs to be out, I'll try to get people to release it. I just believe in good data and analysis being out there for everybody, so we can all make informed decisions. And if I had the time, maybe in the future, who knows, some things are coming from PEW Science. PEW Science might be able to do this. We can build a laboratory, and maybe I build a flash testing rig in there. I can do that. Be awesome, dude. I can do it. I'm not doing it right now, but I will probably. Let's be honest, guys. I'm gonna have to do this. That's where this is going. So don't hold your breath on it. I think in the meantime, before I do, what you need to do is go out with your buddies that have night vision and go shooting with them. Look at their and how their silencers look in night vision. All right. I think. Or at least ask them about their experiences, because I think really that's going to be the next best thing to real test data. Because all these other guys on the internet aren't going to tell you anything. It's not going to be right. And if you ask the manufacturer, they're of course going to lie. So, or they might not lie. They just might not know the answer for real. So come on, man. You guys know how that goes. Okay, we'll do one more question. Good question. Do one more. Question 141, sub-question 13. Any 30 caliber can on Mark 18 to see effect on back pressure / at ear numbers? Great question, sir, ma'am. And for sure, my friend. For sure, my friend. I've already done that, man. Just haven't showed you yet. You gotta wait for it. You gotta wait. I gotta do some other stuff in the sound signature review to circle back. Remember I talked about circling back earlier in this episode? Gotta do that, then I'll get back to this. I tested a bunch. I tested a bunch of these 30 cals silencers on the Mark 18 there. I can tell you, there's absolutely a benefit to a higher flow rate, dude. Like, we all know there would be. But then you gotta ask yourself, what about the muzzle signature? Yeah? I mean, that doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's still heard by the shooter. The muzzle signature is. And then, to complicate things further, some silencers may operate, completely differently for different cartridge combustion duration. And that's something that I'm studying right now. In addition to the sound signature review I'm writing for you, in addition to the research I'm doing, and then my other research, and then my other job, I'm also looking into cartridge combustion duration influence on silencer behavior for PEW Science. I know that you guys, oh man, I'm paying you for a membership and we're only getting this reviews, and it's like, no. You're contributing to PEW Science so that the effort can continue. And in return, I'm giving you an extra little bit of data with the reviews as a thank you. But there's a lot more to PEW Science than just those. And so that I hope that makes sense. And I really hope you know I'm sincere. I'm sincere when I speak about that. Okay, guys, I'm doing a lot of this research and it takes time. Okay, that's what the funds help with. So yeah, in other words, when you talk about combustion duration, you talk about the case capacity in a rifle cartridge, and you got to ask yourself, the way certain silencers work, you got to ask yourself if the duration isn't long enough, the blowdown. What did each part of the silencer do? If depending on the complexity of the silencer. We talked about gas stack, didn't we? When we were talking about the difference between supersonic flow and subsonic flow. We talked about that, yeah? Give those hallway analogies and the movie theater analogies, everyone laughs, but we talked about that. Those analogies worked pretty good, but what happens? Remember I talked about, oh man, those closets open up, or you're able to kind of get the stuff out of the way so you can keep trapping gas? What if there just weren't that many people running through there? What if there were just a few people running really fast, but there weren't that many of them? Would they still get out? Could they still get trapped efficiently? Maybe. Could be a limit though, huh? What's the limit? Could you draw a curve of efficiency of supersonic performance based on cartridge duration for silencer designs? What if you could do that? What if you could draw a sound suppression efficiency curve based upon cartridge duration for certain silencer designs and certain silencer lengths? And what if when you drew that curve, you found that certain silencers fell on different parts of the curve depending on duration? And what if some of them just were there in one part? Really weird, right? This is all really abstract ways of describing this to you, but there's a lot that goes into rifle silencer gas dynamics and the supersonic flow. And so that's one thing I'm looking at. So, you're asking, sir, ma'am, you're asking 30 cal can Mark 18 to see the effective back pressure. Yeah, that'll come. Don't you worry. But there's other stuff too. We're looking at it in parallel. It's wild, right? Yeah, something we'll be exploring. Okay, that's a great. Thank you for asking that, because you guys knew it was coming, and it shows that you're paying attention. So thank you so much. I think we're gonna highlight that. Actually, that's our last question for today. We're gonna highlight that. I'm gonna save the spreadsheet. Boop, 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 and we're gonna close it. So we're done for that. Okay, we're gonna move to the next topic. Topic 4 at a time of 1 hour, 14 minutes and 3. No, shoot, and I messed it up. The listeners they're not going to know what to do. Topic 4 at a time of 1 hour, 14 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay. Yeah. Topic 4, a very enthusiastic and sincere warm welcome to the new PEW Science members. Those of you who have chosen to support the effort, thank you. Your grassroots support is fantastic. I love it. And it motivates me to keep this going. It does, particularly in busy times like this. And There are a bunch of you, and I have definitely not sent you welcome emails. I know I haven't, because I have an inbox full of it, and I'm ashamed. But I'm being realistic, and I just have not, so I will. Just haven't yet. I do appreciate it, and you guys are doing, you're so great. Your questions motivate me to keep it going, and I want to make sure this is doing good for the community, and I think it is. You folks getting something out of it is awesome. It's pretty cool. I've got a pseudo example of that today. We were talking, I have a full DM inbox on social media right now. I haven't been looking at it, but I saw this one come in. I was doing something, and the guy said, "Bro, I shot a bunch of subsonic 300 blackout through my Hyperion, and then a bunch of supersonic 300 blackout through the Hyperion. And the supersonic is so scary quiet, I'm just going to use supers now." And, he was very thankful for the data. He was talking to me about it. Now, I haven't given you guys full-size Hyperion data yet for supersonic 300 blackout. But I can tell you that data, the data is extremely interesting, and you will find it consistent with your experience, just like all PEW Science data is. And it's stuff like that I love. When users are thinking data-driven, they're drawing their own conclusions and then gut checking them. They're relying on their experience. Then they're contacting me to discuss it. Like, that's awesome. Like, you guys are great. That was a great discussion I had with that gentleman today, and that just makes I love it. Every time I get tired and I feel like, man, I can't do this right now, I see something like that, and I'm just like, this is awesome, and it motivates me, dude. You guys are great. So thank you for listening. Thank you for reading. Thank you for supporting. Okay? And stay tuned for some more data. You're going to like it. Okay? And hopefully it won't be too long. Right? I will talk to you folks again soon. Bye.